So Star Renegades is sort of this strategy tactic. I always get those two things confused, strategy and tactics, but it's a 2D pixels turn-based JRPG tactical style, or no, strategy style, sorry. JRPG type of thing, turn-based roguelike, where every time you die, you get zapped into a different, you kind of start over and you keep some of your elements and you go forward. Well, their conceit in this is that you don't necessarily die, you just get zapped into another reality. So right when you're on the verge of death, you'll get sucked out and put into a different reality, and that's sort of your start over mode there. And that kind of gets that roguelike going, because essentially the bad guys are out and about trying to take over each reality one by one, and your goal is to stop them. So you control this little bot guy as you're kind of going around. You have your team. I'll show you. Let's see here. Can I show my team here? No, I don't have my team set up. You have a team, and I'll show you in a second here. I wanted to show this thing first because check it out. It's a dog. And what do you do with dogs? Pet the dog, right?
Yeah.
Why did you just touch my head?
Oh, they subverted it.
Going around doing this, and you keep doing it, and he'll keep saying stuff. What's wrong with you? He gets very mad and very angry, starts swearing at you. What do you think this is? Because I'm a dog, you feel like you could just keep tapping my head? To the point where he says, I don't think you're going to stop. What if I just start repeating myself? Will that make you stop? Fine, we'll give it a shot. And he just starts repeating himself as an interesting way to do it. Anyways, that's how you get away from petting the dog. So I'm going to take you into sort of the main mode here. You get dropped into an or you select your team. I've opened up a few of these players already. I'm going to have, I like the team that I have this setup right here. So let's go with Win, Zerx, whatever his name is, and Nodo. Yeah, that's good. That's my team right there. So they all have obviously different classes. Defender, shielders, things like that. And you can level up your characters each time, kind of get them better. And in between realities, in between deaths, you kind of lose those levels, but you keep sort of your overall level and capability. And so, again, don't mind that it's slower. Right now, you're watching it on an old-ass computer with a really bad graphics card. It's defaulting to the Intel graphics card. That's not really working. So what's kind of cool is there's a bunch of different planets that you can take on, and they're all procedurally generated, and they all have these sort of commanders, right? So I can kind of cycle through these commanders. You can take out a group of these 5 commanders on each planet. If they kill you, then they get promoted from like a warrior to a commander to a general to whatever. So they get stronger as they go up, and you eventually face off against them later on. So this guy killed me last time, Calberus, but this mofo is going to be going down. So you have all these others. Some of these haven't been opened up. Calicarn, I took him out, and here's kind of their main guy, the Behemoth. So you get 3 days on each planet. You have to clear out as much of the planet as you can, and then the Behemoth will come down. Behemoth is this giant mech. So here we go. We get dropped onto the planet here. The Behemoth is this giant mech that comes down. There's my little team there. And look at that. I'm going to go into battle here. And you get essentially what amounts to 3 unlocks per day. So there's 3 days, 3 unlocks per day. And the unlocks are basically letting you unlock different sections of the map. So you can unlock 3 areas. And then after the 3rd one, your day gets, reset to the next day. And you go into these battles. Sometimes you'll have battles. Each of these things, you see my little thing at the top there. It tells me where in the battle timeline my move will take place. So because I've started over, or because my characters died the last time, I get started back at level 1, which means I don't have a lot of the same gear or the same level and attacks that I had before. So I start off right now with sort of the simple ones, slash and cleave. So There's different types. It works on a paper rock scissors method. So there's certain attacks are stronger. So you can sort of select and view the different enemies. I really love the visual style though. It's just absolutely stunning what they've done with the pixel art and the whole scroll. It's like the Mode 7 from the Super NES and parallax scrolling and everything. It just works really well. It's like they had Photoshop class before they started making this game and put all the effects in there. But I'm going to select, if I select cleave, then the enemies who are on the bottom part of that sort of timeline, they'll attack first. If I select slash, that puts me actually ahead of them. Obviously, it's a weaker attack, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to attack this dude because I think he's a little bit weaker. So there's a shield. The blue is the shield, and the red, the bar you see above each one, is their actual health. And it looks like my slash attack, which is a normal attack, is going to be real good for that dude up top. Let's see what Zerks can do. Discharge can take out both those guys. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to attack both them. And then finally, what I like about this guy, Nodo, is that if I do Blitz, he can essentially take away turns from the enemies. So there's at the top of the, or if you look at the little icon on the chart next to the enemy they're on the bottom part of that timeline, you see a little number, it says 2. If I can get that down to 0, especially with an attack, then that'll push him off the timeline. It basically wipes out his move or his turn for the timeline. So I'm going to do that. Let's see if I do this guy. Oh, there you go. Break. That means he's going to be pushed off the timeline. I'm going to break his attack, his turn, and then he won't have a chance to attack me. So I'm going to do that first. Bam. I get shot off there. I don't have to worry about his attack later, but I do have to worry about the other dude who is he's got Cannon Blast equipped. I'm not 100% sure what enemy that is, but all right. Now I'm going to attack with this guy with Win, or attack with her, and then bam, there we go. I broke them. So I got them both wiped off out of their turn off the timeline, which is really helpful for me because now I can, basically get the second set of moves. So early on, these battles are fairly quick. The first few battles you take on, but when you go up against the behemoths, they are pretty difficult. And I lost the first couple times fairly easily against the behemoths. Again, they're just these giant enemies. They come at the end of the 3-day sort of timeline. And if you're able to, you can, if you're able to beat them, you get to move on to the next planet and keep harvesting. And there is an end game, but what I'm finding really fun about this isn't that you're trying to complete this game. It's that you're going again. The fun of a roguelike is kind of repeating things over and over again and perfecting things and really enjoying the sequences that take you from the beginning and that repetition. And in this game, especially where it's just absolutely stunning to look at. I mean, I love the look of this. Right now it's on Steam and Game Pass for PC, but it'll be coming to consoles at some point. I'm not 100% sure when. So you see I've killed that first guy there. I'm just going to knock this dude out and call it a night there. Kill shot. There we go. Cool. So, it's just really pretty to look at. You can spend the majority of your time looking at these little mini attacks. It reminds me of like the Magitech armor scenes from Final Fantasy VI real early on. I think they may have drawn some inspiration from there. So this is the team. Massive Damage is the developer. This is the team that's behind Halcyon 6, which they did a fantastic job on that. I think I have that on every gaming device. They do a really great job. And you can see this Overworld. I mean, it's kind of tiny. Your character's in there, but it's really just kind of meant to showcase, to show off more of a map. It reminds me a little bit of No Man's Sky in how every planet and every zone is completely different. But so here I am. I've kind of made it through this area. I can walk through here. There's, I can either check the DNA that. So DNA is what lets you actually update your levels. Look, so the level up thing on the left-hand side went live. So I'm going to level up. Let's level up right now. I'm going to hit that button. And I have enough to level up all 3. I have 7 DNA points, which is basically the experience points. I can level up any of these 3 characters. And I'm going to go with my main, which is Win. She's sort of the one that, sorry about that. Let me get back to that real quick. She's the one that's kind of running the storyline, the plot line. So here we go. I'm going to level her up to level 2, and she gains some health, and there's a new power, Battle Cry. And the Battle Cry is kind of interesting. So you get those kind of initial attacks. There are secondary attacks. And I'll show that to you right now. They're basically called, I think they're called Fury moves, but you build up this almost like AP in a Final Fantasy game. So you see the Fury on the left-hand side. If I get that to a certain point, that Battle Cry will become active, and that gives you these team moves. Hey, Jeff Grubb. Yes, this is a video game. Jeff Grubb, everybody. So I'm going to use the cleave. I'm going to take out this mech over here. Some of these earlier battles are against robots, and then you get into more of the one-on-one with humans and aliens and stuff. So I'm going to knock this guy back, and bam. I haven't come across anything like a summon yet or anything like that. Obviously, if you die enough times, you're going to get kind of screwed and you won't get that far. But yeah, it's really freaking pretty to look at. And it reminds me of, it has like elements of Akira thrown in there. It's got some really kind of goofy alien stuff. It definitely has that. I don't know if I wouldn't call it an RTS, but there's definitely a little bit of strategy involved in some of these battles. So let's try take out that dude and both the enemies. Oh no, I can knock both these guys back. And one has 0. My boy over there has 0 next to it now. So I can actually knock him off the timeline just like that. Bam. And I've actually killed him. But yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. This game is a blast. It's a roguelike. I've got maybe about 7 hours into it total between my 2 playthroughs and having to restart. And I'm totally fine restarting it because there's so much you can do with it. And it has jumped. It's in my top 5 already for this year. It's an absolute blast. I cannot recommend. Oh, here's Battle Cry. Battle Cry is available. So she has Battle Cry available now. Applies to all the allies. They all get, inspired. They all get, in this case, they have 50% damage against this bad guy. Not that it matters because, one hit and this dude's gone. I probably shouldn't have even used it, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. I am absolutely loving this game. Shoot me some questions. You guys have any questions? Ask me anything about this.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
So I have 2 questions right off the top. When you were showing your team select, there were a bunch of characters you hadn't unlocked yet, but there were characters that you had unlocked but that were locked. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So there are some of the characters are story based, so you have to actually access them into the story. You might meet them early on, but you can't get them yet. Some of them you've caught up to them in the previous reality, but you haven't activated them in this reality yet. And so there's kind of those different ways of interacting with characters. I gotta go this way. Okay. Oops. But you can buy teammates as well. So you can increase your battle party through buying teammates and going kind of in the mercenary market. And like I said, some are just based off of the actual plot, the storyline you go through. So and this is the overworld. The overworld, again, you can kind of go around. There's not a whole lot to do. You can open some chests. You can find some loot, coins and stuff, because there is gold and coins. But you want to use it up before you die, because as soon as you die, you lose all the gold and anything you've kind of built up. So it really is kind of important to continually spend and open up your characters, your kind of overall meta as you go along. But yeah, I think you can have only 3 in your party at a time, and you can actually set. Like I'll show you right now. You can set. I'm getting attacked. But you can set where they're located on the battle screen. For instance, if you have, like, I have my main sort of attack fighter in the front, and I can have my magic users or my bio users in the back, my healers in the back. And this dude, Zerks or Zers, whatever he's called, can you kind of restore shield. Can't really restore health, but it can restore shields. And so I've been using them later on because your health is a persistent thing. Your shields will recharge after every battle. But yeah, so the characters you can change them. I think in between, in kind of certain areas and in between planets. But once you get on a planet, I believe during those like 3 days that you're on there, you can't change your character.
So the 3 days thing with each planet, is that broken up with like how kind of Persona does it, where you're basically on each of those days trying to see how far you can get into like that map particular in that day, and then risk reward of how far do you push your health and shields and mana or whatever, and then come back like the next day fully charged again, or maybe not recovery.
So it's so you see that the map, the overworld that I was showing you, right? Not necessarily on this one, but when you get to the actual kind of there's sort of this intro hub area. That was where we had that cantina, and we had the pet the dog there. But you'll kind of get far enough here in this general overworld. You'll get launched to a planet once there's attacks. So here we go. Kill Barrick. Barrick is the dude I got to take out. And your lives now. Okay, sounds good. Once I take care of him, I'll get access to go to the planet and take on the behemoth. And the behemoth is sort of like the in Mass Effect, where they have the big giant mechs that kind of come and wipe out humanity. Your goal is to clear out everything on a planet and take out all those generals before the behemoth gets there, or take as many as you can before the behemoth gets there, so you can level yourself up, and then you take on the behemoth and hopefully beat it. And the way that they're set up is you get 3, that little droid buddy that I had there, you get 3 disarmaments or kind of like, I don't know if they're explosives or disarmaments, whatever they are, but basically you can unlock 3 locks on the overworld. And they usually relate to like taking different paths. Sometimes you can miss areas completely if you're not careful. Like I on my first run, I completely missed a bunch of chests that were open, and I was kind of kicking myself because I knew there were some cool weapons and upgrades that I could have used there. So I was a little bit bummed. But basically depending on how far I go with the unlocks, I can make my way all the way around again. You get 3 unlocks per day. So you can unlock 3 areas, and then you get to nighttime. And nighttime, you can kind of traverse in any one of those areas. You might find a little bit of loot that you may have missed, but basically everything you've already unlocked becomes available to you. And then you go into a sort of a camp scene, I guess. There's like a campsite, and in the campsite, you're able to use these battle cards, I guess, I don't know if they're called compassion or whatever they are, but they let you build up hearts with your teammates. So your different teammates can build up kind of capabilities with each other. And if you get far enough along, if you build up enough hearts with each of the characters, they can start doing big combo attacks together, which is kind of a cool added bonus. There are a lot of like little cogs and wheels that are constantly spinning in this game. All these different sort of mechanisms that kind of work together, but it takes essentially going through your first death to really realize what all of those are. But yeah, so you get 3 unlocks. Once you've used up those 3 unlocks, you go to the campsite scene, and then day 2 starts, and you do the same 3 again. Campsite, and then day 3, campsite, and you're fighting the behemoth.
Okay. Yeah, and it flows well. It's not totally. It's not like arbitrarily slow between turns.
No, it's
like that.
Once you get used to the whole time thing at the top, I think that like the timeline at the top, the AP battle system, I guess you can call it, it really opens up your battles immensely. So when they first created this game, when they were first showing this game, I think we saw it at PAX East like 2 years ago or something, or last year. They still don't have a lot of like the shifting screens. It was more of zoom in and zoom out. Now they've added like some of the 3D and the lighting effects, and it really is pretty badass to see. I'm not doing it any justice on this stream. You really kind of have to play it. I mean, if you have Game Pass, just get it. I mean, this is worth the $10 for the month by far. But like it's gorgeous to look at. I think the work that they've done over the last year has been something it's really admirable to see them pull off. So I'm going to try to just whip this guy. Let me recharge the shield on my main, and then I'm going to take this guy out of the level here. I want to show you guys the sort of planetary portion. I may not make it though, just in the essence of time. But yeah, it's turn-based. There's a little bit of strategy involved. There's this overworld. It's like a mix of a lot of different things put together. But God, it works so well, and it flows so nicely. It's so nicely, and the writing is actually pretty good too. It's got some decent jokes. I mean, you saw that pet the dog joke, and there's a bunch of little kind of character interactions that work together really well too. So yeah. Star Renegades, can't recommend it enough. It's a really good game, and I have a feeling the more that I play, okay, there you go. I took care of him. Oh, almost. The more that I play this game, I have a feeling that I'm going to be, it's going to be creeping its way up my list more and more for the end of the year stuff. I'd love to see them just put a bunch of expansions for this out later on, like they did with Halcyon 6.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, there we go. Star Renegades. Good shit. Yummy.
I want you to know that between the time that you started the first battle and right now, I resubscribed to Game Pass, downloaded this game, and now I'm sitting on the start menu.
Hell yeah, that's my boy. No, yeah, this is it's worth it. They gave us the review code last week, towards the end of last week, and there we go. I took this guy out, but you can obviously getting it on Game Pass is great. So you get this. Here's the camping card. You get this camping card. I'm gonna stash it right now. So this camping card, I defeated the adversary lieutenant, and I can get basically you get like little bonuses. So you can get like attack bonuses, and you can get health bonuses where for the next 2 battles your health will be greater than it normally is, or your shields will be greater, or your attacks will be greater. So there, I took care of. I took out that kind of general or that commander. I deserved it. He got killed, and now the other guys start to get promoted and get added to the to the battle. So it reminds me of the battle system of what was that? The
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, there you go. Shadow of Mordor, where you start running into those guys again. I mean, that's basically what this is like. So yeah. So right now, check it out. All right, objective. Great job. Slice and dice those bogeys, baby. And now I'm going to go to, so I'm going to show you the camp right now. Let's see. Does it go to camp right now? There we go. Here's the camping mode. Bam. So I can start chat with my boys. You get 5 actions. Each of these cards costs a different action. This one's, so I need to heal. Definitely need to heal. So I can heal. Yeah, I'm going to heal this dude over here. That way his life is all filled up. And we go from there. And they build up their hearts with each other, and it all works out really nicely. So very cool. Love the game. Totally recommend everybody picking it up and playing it. That's it. Star Renegades.